In this video, we're going to break down the top 10 most effective 9mm rounds for personal protection. We'll start at number 10 and work our way to the big kahuna of 9mm rounds. This is my list from my experience as a former CIA officer and current competitive shooter and firearms trainer. If you end up liking this video, please hit that like button and subscribe so that we can bring you more great videos in the future. And if you have comments or suggestions, please put them below. I love engaging with the community, so let's get right into it. Number 10 is Federal American Eagle 147 Grain Bonded Defense. The reason this round starts off our list is because it is probably the most widely available law enforcement and military ammunition in the United States. It's used by everybody from the U.S. Army to your local police department. It comes at a pretty cheap price point, too. The average cost per round is around 23 cents, and it shoots very clean. This projectile has been tested by Federal in barrier blind tests, and they claim that it stops between 12 and 16 inches in barrier media, which is pretty good penetration. This round is one of the few that meets the FBI's standards for law enforcement ammunition. This would be a great round for people who are worried about over-penetration. If you want to use this round for self-defense, make sure that you practice with it and qualify with it. Make sure that it functions in your firearm. And also, it's important to keep in mind that some agencies use this exact same ammo, but they load it hotter than the commercial version. So, if you're currently serving in law enforcement, I'd recommend getting some of the actual ammo that you shoot at the range to train with, rather than just relying on this stuff. But if you don't have access to that, this stuff works pretty well. Number 9 is Hornady Tap. Now, when you buy this round, you might actually see that it says Critical Defense on the box. That's because Hornady Critical Defense was discontinued in 2019 and replaced with Hornady Tap. They essentially took the previous formulation of their projectile and updated it and made it better. So now this is their new tap round. In their testing, they found that it penetrated between 12 and 18 inches in barrier media, which is really good penetration. And the projectile expands extremely well. It opens up to nearly 75% of its original diameter. It is designed to feed reliably from both metal and polymer magazines. So this is a great all-around defensive round. The only downside is that it is a little bit more expensive than the American Eagle we just talked about. On average, it costs about 29 cents per round. But if you ask me, it's worth it for the slight increase in performance. Number 8 is the S&B 147 Grain Full Metal Jacket. This round is actually made in the Czech Republic and is gaining in popularity in the U.S. What makes this round interesting is that it is a full metal jacket projectile, meaning that it's a solid piece of metal with no hollow cavity in the tip of it. So it's not going to expand like the previous two rounds that we talked about. But it does have a steel penetrator in the center that helps it penetrate barriers much further. In fact, it penetrates between 20 and 25 inches in barrier media. So if you live in an apartment, or you think that you might need to shoot through multiple barriers, this could be a good option for you. It's also relatively inexpensive at around 25 cents per round. Number 7 is SIG V-Crown. This is one of the newer kids on the block. It started production in 2013, and it's one of the few projectiles that is made specifically for personal protection. Unlike the Hornady Tap that we talked about earlier, this projectile won't expand as much in air. It is designed to hold together and then expand when it hits a barrier. So in their testing, they found that this round penetrated between 14 and 20 inches in barrier media. The biggest downside of this round is that it's hard to find, and it's pretty expensive. You can expect to pay around 45 cents per round when you purchase this stuff. Number 6 is Winchester PDX-1. For those of you who don't know, PDX stands for Personal Defense Extreme. So this round is made specifically for personal protection. This round uses a unique bonded core technology where the lead core of the projectile is actually encased in copper and nickel. This allows the projectile to maintain its weight and retain its velocity longer than other projectiles. In their testing, they found that this round shot between 16 and 22 inches in barrier media. This round is a little bit more expensive than the other rounds we've talked about, coming in at around 35 cents per round. But if you're looking for something that's going to retain its velocity a little bit better and penetrate deeper, this is a great option. Number 5 is the Remington 147 grain RNL. This is another full metal jacket round, but it's just a standard round noselead projectile. It's not going to expand like the other rounds on this list, but it will penetrate really far. Remington claims that it will penetrate between 20 and 25 inches in barrier media. It's also really inexpensive, coming in at around 22 cents per round. It feeds really well from most magazine types and is available in bulk. So if you're looking for something that's easy to find, easy to shoot, and won't expand in air, this is a great option for you. No, 4 is Federal Premium HST. This is another very popular law enforcement and personal protection round. This projectile is a bit different from the others on this list in that it uses a polymer tip to help it expand. This allows it to expand very quickly and very reliably. In fact, Federal claims that this projectile will expand to its maximum diameter within 1 inch. This is great if you're trying to stop a threat as quickly as possible. It also helps this round meet the FBI's standards for law enforcement ammunition. This round is a little bit more expensive than some of the other rounds on this list at around 31 cents per round, but it is definitely worth it if you're looking for a reliable expanding round. Number 3 is Buffalo Bore 185 grain hard cast. This is a really interesting round that is gaining in popularity with people who carry guns for personal protection. It uses a hard cast lead projectile that is extremely dense. This gives it a lot of weight and a lot of inertia. And in ballistic gel, this round mushroom expands beautifully and retains a lot of weight. Some shooters claim that this round actually behaves like a .45 ACP round. Now, it's important to remember that ballistic gel doesn't necessarily translate perfectly to real-life situations, but this round definitely packs a punch. One thing to keep in mind with this round is that it won't necessarily feed properly from polymer magazines. So, if you're carrying a gun with a polymer magazine, you might want to stick with one of the other rounds on this list. Also, it can be a little bit dirty and it can leave a lot of residue in your gun. So, if you're going to use this round, make sure that you clean your gun thoroughly afterwards. Number 2 is Winchester Q4 8883. This is another law enforcement and military round that's starting to gain popularity among competitive shooters and firearm enthusiasts. It uses a unique bonded core technology similar to the Winchester PDX-1 that we talked about earlier. This allows it to retain its weight and velocity really well. In their testing, they found that this round penetrated between 16 and 22 inches in barrier media. And this round is definitely a bit more expensive than some of the others on this list at around 38 cents per round. But if you're looking for a reliable, high-performing round that won't break the bank, this is a great option. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. As always, I appreciate your support. And finally, number 1 is Hornady 158 Grain Tap FTX. This is arguably the best 9mm round on the market right now. In Hornady's testing, they found that this round penetrated between 12 and 18 inches in barrier media. It also has one of the best weight retention rates on the market. And it is designed to feed reliably from both metal and polymer magazines. If you're looking for a high-performance round that's going to work in just about any 9mm firearm, this is a great option. The only downside to this round is that it is a little bit more expensive than some of the other rounds on this list. You can expect to pay around 40 cents per round. But if you ask me, it's definitely worth it for the performance. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. As always, I appreciate your support. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please put them below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next video.